G'day and welcome to the Computer Tasks course. I'm Steve, your computer tutor. This is a fantastic time to be getting into computers. They have come a long way since the first home computers and are easier to use now than ever before. It can also be a scary time as computers are incredibly complex these days, but it doesn't have to be. The upside of this is that computers are incredibly powerful machines that can achieve amazing things even with little knowledge and experience. Your mobile phone is over 1 million times more powerful than the onboard computer on Apollo 11, and that one took men to the moon and back. The trick here is to learn the 3 or 4 things that you will use and completely ignore everything else. I started on computers even older than the one pictured. I taught myself computer programming from a book when I was about 12. In those days, mums did not play computer games. Except for one. She would get on during the day until she had beat our high score. We would have to then beat that, and so the cycle continued. That game was accidentally deleted. No recovery options way back then. Hence, I wrote a program to imitate the board game, and thus the cycle could continue. This used to be the only thing you would see when you turned on your computer. For starters, green was the only colour they could display. The computer would give you the briefest introduction to itself and a DOS prompt. From there, you had to know and understand an entire series of coded commands to do anything else. Since then, programmers developed operating systems, essentially programs that talked to the computer in code for you while you clicked on this or that, telling the operating system what you wanted to do. The early versions of these still required a reasonable amount of skill to do even some of the more basic things you wanted. Adding a printer was not a simple task. These operating systems have changed little more than look over the last 30 years. This is perhaps why some early computer users agreed with the name Windows. Windows is by far the most ubiquitous of them all, and most probably what you have installed on the computer your well-meaning kids insisted you have. One advantage is that when these systems were developed, they used the terminology of the day. A modern computer is basically an extremely compact office. A simple office room contains a desktop, different things sitting on your desktop, a filing cabinet with files and folders in them. You will find exactly those things even on the newest operating systems, plus a few other items. This view is called your desktop. Let's have a quick look at a few of the things that are sitting on your desktop. The first thing worth noting is that you have a photo on your desk. This one is the standard Windows image, but you can add anything you like. A photo of your husband, the wife, the kids, perhaps even the grandkids. In the bottom right hand corner, you have your date and time. This should be set automatically. Looking across the bottom, you have your taskbar. This one is empty, but you can add all sorts of things that you use often. Imagine this area as the pile of folders that you have on the back corner of your desk that you refer to often. Further to the left, you have your Start button. If you want to do pretty much anything else, you use the aptly named Start button. Other things that are sitting on your desktop, like at the top left, is your deleted items. You can add all sorts of things to sit on your desktop. Files, folders, photos, all sorts of other things. We'll get to that in a moment. If you click on your time date area, you will get a more detailed view. You generally won't need to do anything in here, but there are some other options that may be useful. You can open a separate second clock. Say if you have a friend in England or America, and you can add a clock to their time zone before their telephone rings at 3:02 AM in the morning. If you click on your Start button, you will get a list of things that you use most often. This is the desktop view of Windows 10. As you can see, all the same things are in the same places, looking pretty much the same. You can use them in the same kinds of ways. I have filled my taskbar with the things I use most often, very quick to get to. The biggest difference you will notice is when you click your Start button. 15 years has advanced quite a bit here. It still shows the same kinds of things. All the icons on the right hand side are the programs that you use most often. This will generally be quite full when you first start. To simplify this, you can easily remove anything you don't use by right-clicking and select the option Remove. You can also add things that you will use that aren't already there. On the left-hand side, there is a whole list of all the programs that are installed on your computer. Hover your mouse over that list and use the wheel on your mouse to scroll up and down to select what you want. When you open your File Explorer, you will see something like this. You essentially have a separate filing cabinet for each of these following items: desktop, downloads, documents, pictures, videos and music, recycle bin. You also have a list of folders that you have been to recently. Down the bottom, you have a list of individual files you have viewed recently. Clicking on one of these is the fast way to get to where you're going. This is a view of my documents. Imagine this as pulling out one of the drawers in your filing cabinet, and you can see all the folders hanging there. If you open one of the folders, you will see all the individual files sitting in each folder. It is very important to keep these quite neat. Otherwise, it's like tipping your entire filing cabinet onto the floor and then trying to find the one that you're looking for. You will note there is very few individual files loose at the end of the list. If you right-click on the blank space at the bottom, you will get more options. Right-clicking on pretty much anywhere you find yourself on your computer will usually give you a list of other options. One of them might be the one you're looking for. Sometimes just hovering over something will give you a little bit of text that will tell you what it is. For example, I have my view as large icons. If you see at the top of the square in the middle, there is a view option. You can change this to a list of text written items. You can sort them by in different ways, and several other options that you probably won't need to use. Near the bottom, you can see New. You can add new folders and all sorts of other things in there. Always remember, right click. It is a fantastic option to see more things you're capable of doing. On this image, you can see a different list comes up when you right click on one of your files or folders. Once again, a useful list of things that you might want to do. Computers do not need to be frightening things. Indeed, they can be extremely useful, fast and powerful ways to do many things. At the Computer Tasks course, we focus on files and folders, email and internet, printing and scanning, but I am most open to questions, solving problems you've come across, and we can even accommodate small projects that you are interested in and wishing to have a go at.